What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and the phrase Ubisoft bent the knee is becoming all too common, as it seems to happen nearly every time there's any sort of controversy, and maybe controversy is too strong of a word. Anytime some little weirdo, some anonymous weirdo with pronouns in their bios on Twitter complains that they might be offended about something, Ubisoft will bend the knee. It's what they always do and what they seem to continue to do non-stop. That's exactly what we have in this case. And it is absolutely ridiculous when I describe the situation behind what is happening right now and the woman who's being canceled because of it. Take a look at this. It involves Ubisoft's new game, Watch Dogs Legions, which has been pretty lackluster, whether you look at sales, whether you look at critical reviews, or fan feedback. Pretty underwhelming in general for them. But look at the headline. Woke Dogs, Ubisoft to replace in-game podcasts after host transphobic comments spark backlash. Transphobic should be in quotes right there, and it is indeed. And look at you. This is how Kotaku puts it. Ubisoft to remove controversial guest from Watch Dogs Legions podcast. Now, this woman right here, Helen Davis, is at the root of it because she recorded lines for in-game content for this. It was just a fake. She read lines. It was an in-game podcast. She was the journalist that was picked to do it. But look at here. French video game companies Ubisoft had promised to replace podcasts in its new Watch Dogs Legions title after online commenters called out British journalist Helen Lewis over transphobic remarks she made in the past. And when we get into this, you're going to realize that this is like almost a J.K. Rowling situation where this person is left wing, where this person is very progressive, but they might hold one opinion that might be a little different than what some of the other people hold. And that is why she is canceled. This is someone who has worked at The Guardian. I think we all know the history of The Guardian. This is someone who worked at New Statesman. New Statesman, self-described, celebrated for its progressive and liberal politics. She now works for The Atlantic, and although her tweets are protected, you can see right? That she is an author of Difficult Women, A History of Feminism in 11 Fights. She is left-wing. She is a very big feminist. But that doesn't matter because you said this one thing that might offend less than half the % population of the world. So here we go. The controversy hit the new Ubisoft game shortly after its release late October. The company said it was unaware of Lewis's statements and vowed to replace the in-game podcast voiced by the journalist shortly. Neither Ubisoft nor the game reflect this journalist's viewpoints. Of course it doesn't. Why would it? It's a couple lines randomly during a podcast in-game. That's laughable. Ubisoft told Kotaku, blaming Lewis's involvement with the game on an external producer and promising to reinforce its background checks in the future. There you have it. Anything you've ever said will be used against you. While the in-game podcasters are following a pre-approved script and not speaking in their own name or with their own opinions, we understand this collaboration itself may be seen as offensive, and we deeply regret any hurt that this has caused. Yes, any hurt that it has caused to you weirdos with cartoon avatars that can't decide what gender you are in your bio. Yeah, we're sorry for that. We're sorry that we offended you. While the company didn't exactly specify statements that had been deemed offensive, the online crowd was quick to unearth past remarks. And keep in mind again, this is not a Pedro Pascal situation like we just saw. This is not where someone is calling literally half of the supporter, the star actor of The Mandalorian, calling half of Star Wars fans literal fucking Nazis. If you want to take a look at that, take a look at the videos I've done, the couple videos I've done on Pedro Pascal and what he said after the mainstream media declared that Biden won the election. And also, shameless plug, go ahead, check out This Is Not the Way, because Pedro Pascal is an absolute clown. He really is. I think we all understand that at this point. It's very obvious at this point, and that Pedro is not the way. Link will be in the comments below. But look at what she said. A 2017 opinion piece in the Times headline, "A man can't just say he turned into a woman," garnered particular attention and was deemed to be especially offensive. Like I said, this is a J.K. Rowling situation, ladies and gentlemen. In the article, Lewis argued against gender self-identification and criticized the UK's plans to simplify the process for legal change of gender through self-identification. Quote, Being a woman or a man is now entirely in your head. In this climate, who would challenge someone with a beard exposing their penis in a women's changing room? She wrote. Now, and I don't think that this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. What she's simply saying is that you can't just leave it to someone on a whim. There should be some process that someone goes to. If they want, if they feel like they are transgender, there should be a process instead of just, oh, I said it and I can switch it back, so that anybody can take advantage of that situation and do whatever they want to do and use any advantage they can simply by lying to people. That is what she was saying. But of course, that is not okay. Bedtime Jackson. This is the lady Watch Dogs Legion has hosting its game podcast about how we all need to join the resistance against fascism. And of course, it doesn't matter what she said in the podcast. All that matters is this article that she wrote about her opinion that maybe there should be more hoops you have to jump through before you get allowed in the women's changing room. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Some online, including other voice actor who appeared in the game, rallied in support of Lewis. So someone else who was in the game with her supported her, but that doesn't matter. Ubisoft said, go fuck yourself. We're going to side with the weirdos with pronouns in their bios. Ian Dunn, as one of the other voices in this game, let me go on record to say I'm incensed by this. Whether you agree with Helen's views on trans issues or not, they are legitimate debate, and she's entitled to hold and express them. I accidentally clicked that, so I guess we'll just watch. She wasn't even discussing any of those issues here. A little Twitter mob got excited, and now she's simply canceled. What utter cowardice. The silencing of someone on all issues, even analysis of a fictional political universe because people disagreed with what they said on another issue. Absolutely abysmal. And worst of all, in an anti-fascist game, wiping away someone's voice in a software update, the digital equivalent of burning books. So he goes pretty hard. That's another voice actor saying that. So that is pretty crazy. And then in someone else, this is not good enough, right? The fact that they removed her is not good enough for the woke police. Look here. Others targeted Ubisoft itself, criticizing the company for easily giving in to online outrage before it even got widespread, and accusing the company of simply pursuing profits above anything else. What I dislike most about this is not a simple corporate decision to protect profit. This is not a moral decision. It's simply cowardice. And that is what Ubisoft does. And in light, they go on to explain that in light of the big controversy we had last year or earlier this year, I don't even remember at this point, about Ubisoft and sexual assault, when those bogus surveys came back about everyone who's been subjected to all the bad things at Ubisoft, men say toxic things there. This is all a reaction to that. Any little thing they do is a reaction to that because they're afraid that their reputation has been harmed. They're afraid that, and they're trying to rebuild it back. So anytime anyone might get a little bit outraged that a very, very minute portion of any audience might get offended by an opinion, boom, out the door. And that's exactly what we saw happen. Again, this is not like calling half your fans fucking Nazis. It's not like that. This is something that is ridiculous, and an opinion that is held by a lot of people. Agree with you, Helen Lewis, that maybe there should be other steps that take place before this happens. But never mind any of that. Ubisoft, boom, just removed her. Done. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Make sure you smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.